Good afternoon. Talking about today, are you stuck in a rut in Subic Bay? And so that's what I want to discuss today. Um, I've been here for about 4.5 years, and I know for a lot of expats, some stay forever, some come rather quickly and then leave quickly, and others seem to leave between that 3 and 5 year mark. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, between the 3 and 5 year mark. Um, and that's pretty much the Philippines in general, I believe. Um, so I know a lot of people, they go to wherever it is in the Philippines. We're going to use Subic Bay since that's where I live, and talk about that. So if you come here at first, it's all good, but it is different than visiting. Visiting on a vacation for a couple weeks or a week and living here are two totally different things. I've said that in the past. Um, but basically, uh, what happens a lot of times is people, maybe they have families in the area, a wife and her family, and they kind of get stuck, more to say. And some really enjoy it. Others kind of just fall in that rut and they just don't escape it. They just kind of accept where they're at and they go from there and they live their lives. Other people, they come over, they have a good time at first, they're getting situated to the Philippines and Subic Bay. And then over time, they just can't adapt to certain things or the way of life. So at that point, they decide to just leave and go somewhere else. Not necessarily back to their home country like the U.S., but maybe somewhere else in Southeast Asia. And if you're in Subic Bay, you may pick up and go down to Siargao, you may go up to Angeles, you may go to Cebu, different places, and go from there and try to start again. So that's, a lot of people do get in that stuck. Some people, they get over here, their money's tight, so really they can't afford to just pick up and move somewhere else, especially if you have a wife or a family. If you're single, it's a little bit easier to move around and do things like that. But like for me, 4.5 years, first 3 years were fantastic. I got here during COVID, and then slowly the place started to open up again. But I started getting bored with Subic Bay. Just not a lot here, to be honest. And a lot of the things that are here seems to just, it doesn't improve, or it's just not enough other things going on. But once I started traveling to other parts of the Philippines, whether it be Siargao, Batanes, Bicol, El Nido, Coron, all these different places in the Philippines, and one of my favorites, Siargao, of course. I need to go back there actually, and I hope to next few months. But when I started to travel, two things happened. One, it made me appreciate the Philippines. It made me want to be here. And on the other hand, where I'm living, I'm like, I really don't like it there. And I came here first in 1984, came off and on, pretty consistent after about maybe 2005 again. And so I enjoyed the visiting. Once I moved over here, I still have that Navy heritage. So I feel some connection to Subic Bay area here and Olongapo. But being here 4.5 years, I just don't see the progression. Olongapo has pretty much, in my opinion, only has just died kind of when it comes to things for foreigners. The local stuff is still there, but there's still not a lot of improvement going on. Our Subic Bay and SBMA, kind of the same thing. I've seen, some improvements. They got Harbor Point, got some Western restaurants in through the Bistro Group, Italiani's, Texas Roadhouse. So they got those in. Everything else has pretty much been, seems coffee shop, coffee shop, coffee shop. And they're not bringing in anything else. It's just every time something new opens, seems to be a coffee shop. If you like coffee, great. But I mean, how many coffee shops do you need? They just built a new Starbucks near the fairground here on SBMA. Really nice facility, building, business, two stories. But again, how many do you need? They closed the one closest to me on Argonaut and Rizal, but and they opened this new one. They still have the one at the mall, but there's so many other just local coffee shops throughout Longapo and Subic Bay Freeport zone, but I don't see a whole lot else coming in. And Barretto has pretty much gone downhill since I've been here. Some of the same things are there. Of course, it always is changing, whether it's the bars you go to, different things, but it just seems to have died. I don't know. They're still getting tourists, but I talked about this before. Not in the numbers that I think they need or they had probably before COVID. And since then, the Philippines have been slow to recover. They were slow opening, I should say. So that kind of set them back against other Southeast Asian countries, such as Thailand, Vietnam, even Cambodia. I talked about that before, how they've overtaken the Philippines in tourism this year. Hopefully, as rainy season ends and better weather comes around the holidays, Christmas time frame, and then going into Philippine summer, you'll see more tourists. But it's kind of just not been there the last few years, and prices have gone up. A lot of times, as I mentioned before, it's cheaper a lot of times to go to another Southeast Asian country and vacation than it is within the Philippines, just because of the cost. Some airfares have gone up. Hotels I find them more expensive in the Philippines for a good hotel over other places. The food, if you want to go for culinary adventure, I do recommend Siargao. They got a lot of varied restaurants, everything from local to foreign establishments. I know Boracay is kind of like that if you like Boracay. But you can go to these other countries and eat Michelin star type restaurants for just a few bucks. It's really really good and very cheap, but outstanding food. They might not be the swankiest places, but those mom and pop places are really what I like, and they have the real good food. But that's kind of what's going on, and I'm just not seeing the improvement here in Subic Bay. I'd like to see more infrastructure. I know they're supposed to be building a bypass around Barretto, kind of like they did around Subic, but I don't think I'll see that anytime soon. I know they've been working on it, but we'll see how fast they get it done. They do have the new train going from Clark down to South Manila, and hopefully that helps. I think I saw where the Thais and Italians have a joint venture starting at Clark. I heard someone else has a contract down south, maybe the Chinese. I'm just not sure about that. But, they are making progress toward Clark, but again, not fast enough. Then the other thing for Subic Bay and why I personally want to go somewhere else in the Philippines or travel around Southeast Asia to the different countries and just kind of here for a little bit, there for a little bit type of thing. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I really I hate big cities like Manila, but they do have a few good areas I really enjoy. Some places in Makati, down in Alabang, South Manila, Stay Rosa, New Valley area, very good BGC. And they're kind of like got the Western going on, but then you're really close and you still have the local sing. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So those are good. But like I said, I'm not a fan of big cities. They do have Grab in Manila, which gets you around pretty good. But Bangkok, to be a big city, I mean, they have great, cheap transportation around, whether it be a train, whether it be on the river, a boat. So they offer a lot. Vietnam, I was surprised when I went there 4 times last year how good the roads were, how good the transportation was there, and I really enjoyed that. Here in Subic Bay, you're restricted on base. You really only have the on-base taxis. They're kind of a set rate. They're not metered. Out in town, they have metered taxis, and then but no Grab. It's the only major place in the Philippines with no Grab. Go to Manila, use Grab. Went down to Cebu City, use Grab. You go over to Vietnam, Thailand, Grab. And so the Grab taxi is really good. The only place I really didn't enjoy it was in Baguio. Baguio, they use the same, it's a taxi, but they also do Grab. But there, you're going to pay more for the Grab than just a taxi for the same vehicle, same driver, same destination. So that's the only place I don't recommend using Grab in the Philippines. Like I said, I wish they had it here. They do not. Maybe in the future, who knows. But everywhere else, like I said, Vietnam, Thailand, really love the Grab. I really love the public transportation they got from in Thailand. I really liked what they had in Bangkok. Ho Chi Minh is real easy to get around in Vietnam. Da Nang was pretty easy to get around. So you've got just some different places. Getting ready to go to Thailand, Bangkok, Pattaya, and then over to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Be my first time in Cambodia, so we'll see how that goes. And I can make more comparisons, and I'm kind of looking forward to that trip. So that's coming up very shortly. Hope to get some video from Thailand, especially from Phnom Penh. But don't get stuck in the rut here in Subic Bay. You know, like I said, some people, they just get kind of locked in here. But don't forget to travel. You can stay in a place. You got to have a home base. What I always say, you got to have a home base somewhere if you're living over in Southeast Asia or wherever. But you got to have a home base. And this is not a bad home base, Subic Bay. You got Clark not far away to fly out of instead of going to Manila. But don't get stuck in a rut. Get up, travel. I know it takes money. But if you have the money and you have the time, please get out and see the rest of the Philippines. Get out and see Southeast Asia. Get over and see East Asia, you know, everything. Just get out there and travel around. And I think if you get stuck in that rut here and it's just same old routine, please don't get caught in just where you go to the bars, nothing else. Get out and see the country you're living in, and get out and see Southeast Asia. So that's my big thing, is don't get stuck in a rut. If you are in one, look to try to get away, and whether it's taking a drive, you know, somewhere else in the Philippines, or you get on a plane and go. I highly recommend it. I think your life will be a lot better. I know it helped me out when I started traveling around, especially after COVID and they relaxed restrictions. I could get out. So that's my message to you. Don't get stuck in a rut wherever you're at, and enjoy wherever you're at. Go experience what the country has to offer. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I appreciate your time. Take care always.